We're the Darkness on A-sides with Chappers. You'll know him as Jon Chattman. We call him Chappers.
The renowned coke addict.
Good luck with that.
That's okay, isn't it?
We're getting a bit tired of leaving it 3 or 4 years in between albums. We always seem to be, we're perpetually coming back, aren't we? And it's just so dull. We want to release an album every year and a half for the next 10 years. We want to bring it back to kind of like the 60s and 70s release schedule period, where we're just outputting stuff all the time. Right, guys?
Well, we deliberately took some time off to write this one, though, didn't we? Because the last one... well, it didn't feel like it was a proper...
It was a rinse, wasn't it? We had to rinse out management, didn't we? And labels. 2 record labels, 2 managers, and a drummer, sadly. But happily,
2 drummers.
we got this delightful chap here. He's drumming for us now.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. Sides.
Sides.
Yeah, it was nerve-wracking at the beginning. Obviously didn't want to mess it up for the guys, but yeah, we no, everyone just clicked from the get-go, I think, and it's all just been a really smooth kind of run from then, and only to get better.
Rufus is our guilty treasure. If there's 2 words, that's the words I would use.
A trinket, if you will.
Yes. Yes, it was conscious in the sense that we wanted the craft itself to be there. Because we never really answered the question who was flying the thing back in the day. I mean, on the Growing On Me video, we sort of explained the genus of the band, which was when a pterodactyl raped a spaceship and then 4 eggs emerged with us inside. But we never really explained how the spaceship got into the Earth's atmosphere in the first place. So I think hopefully with the pink planet exploding and behind the child as it sort of races or careers away from the explosion, I'm hoping that it's quite obvious from that that's how the spaceship, or where the spaceship came from, a dead planet full of awesomeness, yeah.
In some ways, I guess it's a cosmic orgasm, perhaps. Although it's nice to leave that open to the listener or the viewer's interpretation. It's actually worked by a friend of mine, Christian Furr, Pink Diamond Dust.
Who has subsequently complained that we've cheapened the the artwork. I don't know what he means by that, really. All we've done is stick a spaceship on it. That's made it better, hasn't it? You take a glorious piece of fine art and then shoehorn a spaceship on there.
And the cover is by Nick Roach, the actual artwork.
But it's based on an invention by Tom Lessner, who's a USA citizen, whose father went in for some laser surgery to correct an eye complaint, and came out with one of these shields across there, and he cleverly had the idea of writing the darkness on it, and we sold a few as merchandise items, and then somebody took a picture of their child who was resting with the visor, and that's what the image is based on, a small sleeping baby in its cot. So in a way, there are several fine artists from all around the world who've been involved in that.
Also a man called Phil Robertson, who got in touch with a man whose name was John Bean. He came to our show recently. Do you remember which show he came to?
Yeah, he was in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. John Bean came there with his family. It's quite apt his name is John Bean.
I hope you're remembering all these names, guys.
John Bean, the human being.
Well, not so much air guitar. People air drum a lot. But we've noticed a lot more YouTube videos going up of people playing the riffs particularly from this album, which is a good sign. I think when you've got when the guitarists, the nerdy guitarists, putting up videos of how to play the riffs really authoritatively with their eyebrows like this.
We do.
So this is then he does this and then it's like this.
You mentioned
And
the
he
Guinness
always
Book of
gets
Records.
it. Always gets it wrong.
You mentioned the Guinness Book of Records. We actually are the holders of the world record for the largest number of people air guitaring to, I believe, in a thing called Love. Funnily enough, it is actually in there because I did it on a TV show called. It was a failed TV show. It was called Record Smash, because they weren't allowed to call it Record Breakers because there used to be a TV show called Record Breakers, so they called it Record Smashers or something like that. And it was it wasn't Norris McWhirter, but it was someone from the McWhirter family who came down and acknowledged the number of people air guitaring. So yes, we are the holders of that record. What was the question again?
Something about air guitars.
Yeah, air guitar. Oh yeah, I'd I don't know if we'd be in a position to offer advice really. And the thing about the music trade is that it's been ebbing and flowing and constantly morphing from one thing to another. Nobody really knows what the thing is. That's why there are so many young managers and old managers and medium-aged managers. Nobody knows.
I could offer some advice. Yeah, I think the key thing is really is that there are no shortcuts. It's more now than ever. You know, there are so many kind of like TV shows or things that people can do online to make them feel like they're famous or they're getting somewhere, and it's like more than ever. It's more about getting in the back of a van and playing live. You know, live is everything. So perfect your art and take it to the people, and don't expect to make any money, ever. Just do it for the love of it and get on with it.
Yeah, if you expect to be rich and famous, you're probably not going to be either. Music has become a service as opposed to a product. So you're essentially a wandering minstrel with a lute. It's medieval times. We're back to basics. You can't. At some point in the 1900s, music became a product because there was recordable things that you could sell, but nobody buys them anymore. Partly because they don't have to, and partly because music is actually mostly shit. So there's really no point in buying stuff when you can get it for free. So all those people who are making shit music have ruined it for us who are doing it good. But the fact of the matter is that people aren't prepared to pay for it. They can get free stuff, and why would they? So, son, you're on your own.
Welcome to the Dark Ages. Get your mandolin out and your Hessian robe. Rufus, how do you get through the
Pass the time. Netflix is fantastic. Justin likes to fart a lot, and that keeps us entertained for the time being. But I think the most important thing is you just got to get on with the guys you're on tour with. As soon as you don't, you have a fucking horrible time, don't you? takes not very long at all till everyone's really, really bored. But thankfully, we're not in that position, so all those boring cunts can fuck off.
Depends what rock and roll is. It's constantly, the definition of rock and roll keeps evolving and keeps changing. No two people have the same definition anyway. So, the least rock and roll thing we have done would be I haven't got a fucking clue.
There you go.
It's still rock and roll.
I have a bad habit of, after a show, I'll tend to tidy up the dressing room. Like where other bands kind of like trash it and, you know, write things on the walls, I tend to sort of go around and tidy things up. And if, I don't know, if there's some mess lying around, I'll pop it in the bin. If some clothes need folding, that kind of thing. You know, we're more likely to kind of whitewash the walls of a graffiti dressing room rather than add to it, you know.
Fucked.
Zachary, well, you're 20 years and 11 months into being called Zachary on this planet. It's a real shame. No, Zach's quite a nice name, isn't it? I think?
Yeah.
I like Zach.
Yeah.
Ball sack. You probably would have come up against that in the playground. You know, this is a bit of advice. Oh, but it's too late. How can you give advice to someone who's 20 years old? You've already had all the, you know, the tough stuff happen.
Yeah, the formative things have already been and gone, haven't they?
I guess, okay, here's a word of advice. When you get to 26, 27...
Will they still have AIDS in the future?
When you
If not, then make sure you wear condoms.
When you get, if they haven't cured AIDS, then yeah,
Or femidom.
make sure you double bag it. But
Condom
also,
plus femidom is the safest route.
but yeah, but just mark my words. When you get to 26, 27, you might want to start doing some exercise, because although you've been hitting it really hard and drinking and smoking and, you know, taking loads of drugs, at some point you're going to have to stop and kind of balance things out, and it's normally around about 27, which is why most people check out.
And never relinquish your constitutional right to carry a gun.